Yes, I'm Drikus Kriek. I'm Dean at the IEDC-Bled School of Management in Slovenia. Originally from South Africa, but been in Slovenia for the past 7 years. When I came here first, it was very early on in the invasion, and it was very early on in the way in which all the disruptions took place. There was a lot of anxiety, more anxiety. I think what I observed now is that there is this resilience and this courage to make it work even more so or stronger than then, but also the understanding that this is something that will require a lot of effort from everybody very particularly, and that it requires of you to see that heroes are not only on the battlefield but also here in other parts where people are not always see that, and to make sure that we realize and that you think that you need to be sure that this is something that is necessary also to celebrate those who are sacrificing everything, everyone in the country sacrifices. Well, there are always a part of us that is part of both. That's kind of like a moot point because we are influenced by both. But there are elements of us that we are born with, that we have to use, and that we know that this is the hands that we are dealt with. There are other parts that we acquire along the way and that is more developmental and that we can develop and that we can own. But I think in that question we also sometimes forget something that is very important, and that is that leadership is not only about being born or being made, but also about the choice to lead and that willingness to lead. And that willingness to lead requires of me to feel comfortable as a leader. So it's not only about doing leadership, but also being a leader. Not necessarily that it is only in stressful situations that leaders come forth, because that will take away all leaders that became leaders outside of stressful situations. But I think what it does, its stressful situations bring to the fore more and very specific particular leadership characteristics or particular leadership skills that are necessary. So they're complementary. Actually, the question is rather to ask, what is the role of context or the situation in leadership? Whether that is stressful or not, that's the question to ask. How do I connect with the context, and how does the context help me or prevent me from certain things I want to do as a leader? Yeah, I'm not anyone to advise the leaders of Ukraine. I would not be so bold or arrogant to do any of that. They are quite equipped to step into the space, and they have shown that over the last 2 years that they are able to step into that space and feel comfortable in their own skins, that the cause is just what they fight for, and that keep them to motivate them. And I think one more thing is to really understand how the severity and the pain and the impact of this is across everybody. And that should be acknowledged as well, that the sacrifices that people do way far outside of the war front also is as significantly disruptive to their lives, and that therefore it is a question that every citizen is part of this. And I think that's an important message that I'm sure they take into account, but they need to just build on even more so. Well, I think that this is the thing that I mentioned. Leadership is about being a leader, feel comfortable in your own skin as a leader, but also to do certain things, be comfortable in what are those things that I have to do, those skills, knowledge and abilities that I have. But it's also something that I have to use to create something, and to create this space where leadership can happen. Leadership is not a grand act or a great event. Leadership is something that happens in every single moment of interaction, direct or indirect, within a space that I can help control and that I can help manage or help create. With my followers, we create a space wherein leadership happens that allows people to step into that space, to follow voluntarily. And if we have that kind of a view about leadership, it leaves us with 3 things to feel comfortable about. 1, feel comfortable in your own skin. 2, acquire those skills and stuff that is developmentable and that can be developed. And 3, then how to build this co-constructed or jointly created space wherein leadership can happen. And that would be my advice.